How would you spend the last days of an entire summer fly fishing in New Zealand? Would you go for high numbers of fish, beautiful scenery, or maybe some diversity? Maybe you're still on the hunt for that truly special fish. Or do you want to relax, drink a beer, and eat a meat pie? Because believe me, that was on top of my list as well. After 3 long months on the rivers and roads of these islands, I could feel my energy waning and the trip winding down. Honestly, I felt pretty good about what I'd accomplished so far. But who knows when I'd find myself back down here. I wanted to make the most of this last month. But as life tends to do, factors outside of my control kinda took over. The calm, well-planned ending to my trip turned into a sometimes miserable month sick in bed, begrudgingly watching rain-swollen rivers, and some final mad dashes around the South Island. That month got cut down to just 7 days on the water. But nothing worth doing comes easy, and I wouldn't let myself leave New Zealand on a sour note. Before any of my future hardships, I was fresh off the best fishing trip of my life at the bottom of the South Island. I took care of a few quick chores in Queenstown and wanted a relaxing day. I'd pushed myself pretty hard the last few days and was exhausted. On maybe the nicest weather day of the entire trip, I decided to fish a small lake. Just getting back from that big special trip, I wanted to do something a little more relaxing. And I got a perfect day for it, fishing a lake. It is the middle of the day, no wind. That never happens in New Zealand, I feel like. And the river I wanted to fish had 4 cars at the parking lot. No one's at the lake though. Stunning. I brought a couple beers, just gonna chill. Maybe I'll catch a few fish too, tied on a big terrestrial. You know, not every day has to be crazy. This type of fishing isn't too complicated, at least by New Zealand standards. I'm just basically gonna pace the shoreline until I see a fish, and I'm gonna cast it. And when I reach the end, I'm gonna turn around and pace the other way, and I'm gonna do that until I get too tired. Yeah. Oh. Well, some action anyway. Bam. All right, well, first fish. The size is a little bit more what I'm used to back home. Little brown. Oh, there he goes. Yeah. Little one. There he is. Nice little brown. See ya. There's actually a decent fish over there. It'll touch on this cast, hopefully. Oh yeah, he's going for it. Take it. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a nice fish. Well, I'm pretty stoked with this fish. I did my first pass of the shoreline. I was seeing, much smaller, like that big fish mostly. I get to the end, there's a small inlet creek, and this is a pretty solid fish. Like, way bigger than I was expecting to catch today. I'm really happy with that. Took that beetle thing I've been throwing, just slowly came over and sipped it. Really cool. Man, awesome fish. I'll get him back pretty quick. Pretty fun day. But that one big fish in a sea of these little guys is kind of strange. Gotta think there might be another one in here, but if not, there isn't. That's fine. Probably got another hour of this in me, and then I think I gotta stop. For a relaxing semi-day off, that turned out way better than I'd expected, mostly because of that one fish. But it was time to get moving. I'd spent far longer in the deep south than I'd originally intended. I'd planned to use my last month slowly working my way up the west coast to Nelson. I had several long backpacking trips deep into the South Island wilderness on the docket. But that's not even close to how it would go. The forecast called for an afternoon rain, and I was set to drive north today. But I wanted to sneak in one last morning sesh before I headed up. Well, conditions are sort of meh today. Feel like it could rain at any point. This river's supposed to be pretty good for this short stretch, maybe 2 kilometers, so I'm gonna walk down to the end of it and fish my way back up, and then probably drive 3 hours north. This river's not significant for any fish because I didn't catch any. This is the time that I remember the switch sort of flipping. First of all, the rain. Oh my gosh. Bad weather and high water would plague me for the rest of the trip. But more importantly, I was starting to feel kind of strange. You know the feeling, the, oh no, am I sick feeling. I figured I was just tired and a little worn down from months of non-stop motion. Either way, I had to get out of the rain and begin my drive north. Yeah, now it's actually raining and I actually can't see anything. So, camera might be going away soon. I might be going away soon. I'm normally kind of a road dog. I've driven across the United States a bunch of times. Long days and big miles don't faze me. This was not a fun drive for me. This time, whatever was wrong with me won out. I only made it a few hours. I did take the time to stop and check out the only kokanee salmon run in New Zealand. Now, I think that's super cool, but I only got 10 seconds of footage of it, so that probably says everything you need to know. I got a little cabin for the night a few hours north of Queenstown, and I had a feeling I knew what this was. A quick COVID test later, and it was confirmed. COVID and I do not agree. I've gotten it 4 or 5 times and been down for the count each of them. I was sick as a dog and ended up staying in that little cabin for 10 days. Big hit to the bank account. That was not in the budget. A lot of movies and a lot of sleeping, but nothing to film for those 10 days. It did rain for most of it, so I didn't feel like I was missing out on too much. By the time I resumed my drive north, I only had 2 weeks left in New Zealand. And I had another issue looming on the horizon. I had a couple days of good weather, then rain as far as the forecast went. Better make the most of these 3 days. It felt great to be back camping. Believe it or not, I was pretty sick of a real bed and missed my car. In this case, feeling better is relative. I probably could have used a few more days bed rest, but I could feel my time in New Zealand slipping away. I felt fine, but my cardio was kinda shot. With compromised cardio, I couldn't really go on those final backpacking trips. But you gotta make the most of whatever you're given, so I found a few promising rivers to go on some day trips. I was just about fed up with these birds, though. First River Up has a reputation for being especially tricky, but with some ridiculous fish if you can crack the code. I had an afternoon to see if that was true. It had rained a couple days prior, but the river seemed pretty unaffected. A slow start, but I hadn't fished in about 2 weeks. It just felt good to be back out there, not stuck in a stuffy cabin. Pretty small by this river's standards, skinny. But you know, fish is a fish. Feels good to not spook everything. I did spook most of them. All right, let's let you go more reasonably. This pool is super deep. I'm gonna try my strategy that's worked 0 times so far. Put a big heavy stonefly on and just kind of chuck it at them and see what they do. I see 2 fish down there, but they're very far down. For my sickly return to the water, 1 fish is a great day. I decided I'd come back near the end of my trip to give it a better shot. With each passing day, I felt a little better. Up next was a river I'd heard some mixed things about. Some contradictions between guidebook and real-life interactions. I made one blind cast before turning the camera on and classically hooked up to a great brown.
I wasn't sure about this river. I'd heard great things from the guidebook, iffy things from people I met on the rivers. But I made one blind cast, and halfway through the drift, I was like, oh wow, that's gonna go right over a fish. And that's the first fish of the day. That's an awesome fish. Man, what luck.
The light in this canyon stood out to me. This was such a beautiful river on this chilly late summer morning. The next fish I saw, I made sure I was rolling.
Yes! Let's go! Alright, fish number 2. It's a little tricky to film in here. It's there's pretty much no shoreline, so I'm just waiting the whole time, and it's deep. But here he is. Pretty skinny, but I'm all good. No complaints. That's another solid fish. Came back for the nymph. It's pretty cool. Pretty pumped. Good day so far. I'm already kind of content. Pretty slow going with numbers, but I think I can see most of the fish that are in the river. This is my 4th I've seen in a few hours, so pretty low, and I'm actually not even positive this is a fish, but it looks like it. Just need to take a deep breath and make a good cast. Sometimes I think I rush, and there's not really time to rush down here. You don't see that many fish during a day, so you gotta make good decisions. Passing's tough on this river. It's deep, not good shoreline, vegetation everywhere. Well, I've reached my confluence, and that is my turnaround time. 2 fish. I mean, I saw like 6 that were accessible and I could make casts to. I'll take that percentage, but that's not a lot of fish for a pretty long day walking. So that's how it goes, I suppose.
With fish few and far between and no real shoreline to speak of, this was a challenging river to fish. But you take a day when you catch a couple of fish like those. It looked like I had one more day to fish before about a week of rain moved in. I chose another river with a reputation for being especially challenging, holding huge browns. At this point in the trip, that's kind of what it was all about. The challenge was part of the fun. I knew I could do this, might as well go for broke looking for a trophy.
Alrighty, today's river is a tricky one. Apparently the fish lie very deep, so a little bit of a change up from my typical New Zealand experience. I'm using a very, very long dry dropper on this first pool. I just spotted my first fish, so let's see what's up. That's a fantastic first fish of the day. Took the extremely deep nymph, probably the 3rd pass over him. Pretty thrilled. Not a trophy, but that's a really healthy brown, awesome colors. Get him back quick. That was a pretty long fight. Make sure he's ready. It's nice to show up to a river, not really knowing what to expect, and at least get one right off the bat. That way, no shutout. We'll see how the rest of the day goes. The dropper is honestly just kind of comically long at this point. I think I can get away with a little shorter, hopefully. It was really hard to cast too. Can't see anything here, but it looks nice and riffly. So. Second fish of the day. It's another really solid fish, a little bit bigger than the first one. Really happy with this. Look at that. It's a nice fish. I was blind fishing this run behind me because there's too much glare, and took the nymph. Yeah. Man, tricky day, but there's definitely fish in this river. Love it. Can't beat that.
2 great fish, not the trophy I had in mind, but I wasn't complaining. I took a quick stop for the 3 essentials you need on a day of fishing on the South Island: water, food, DEET. I expected a little more time, but the weather was turning.
Water's getting iffy. Well, this is going to be the last hole. That's rain behind me. The river's already like medium high from the rain we got the last few days, or a few days ago. And let's just say they get pretty scary when they're actually high. So I want nothing to do with this river any higher than it currently is. So I'm going to quickly fish this run and skedaddle. Damn it.
That was a better fish, and since I knew I was turning around here, it was a little bit frustrating. I fished the run one more time, but came up empty as the storm rolled in.
Dang, that is a bummer, all caps. I'm just kind of cursed to catch 2 fish. At least I'm catching fish. And safety is more important than fish. I don't want, this river's already like a little sketchy waiting, so I'm gonna turn around.
Safely near my car, I tried one more spot, but the weather was moving in fast. For my stubborn desire for one more cast, I got drenched. I knew this was coming, but the timing was such a bummer. It poured for several days, thunder and lightning included. I spent a few nights in my car, but eventually got a cabin for the week. After the first few days of downpour, it was more intermittent the rest of the week. Most rivers were a chocolate milk, muddy mess. This did give me time to finally recover from my illness and restock the fly box for one last push. I kept trying to find fishable water.
Well, it absolutely poured all day yesterday, and most of the rivers are a muddy mess. But there's a couple that flow to lakes around here that I'm gonna try. At the very least, it's a gorgeous day. Can't tell it rained at all.
From lake-fed rivers to spring creeks, everything was too high. More often than not, I'd go out looking in the morning, but by mid-afternoon I was enjoying a beer in a warm pub. Before I knew it, my flight was in a few days. As the storm broke and the rivers dropped, I understood I had just 2 days of fishing left. Now I'd really better make the most of them.
It was a fun day. We met some wonderful people named Rusty and Roxy and Rowdy.
I was becoming too familiar with this small town and its pie selection, but it was a great central location to the many surrounding rivers. At this point, I didn't have time to go far. For my second to last day, I'd be repeating a river from before the rain, upstream of where I'd fished before.
All right, future Sam, we're getting down to the wire. I think we have 2-3 more days on the water, including today. So this is, means a lot. I fished lower down this river before the rain. It was pretty good. Saw some big fish, missed some opportunities. I'm up higher. Gets a little canyony, so I'm a little concerned about water depth and some crossings, but beautiful morning, and let's go get it. I just got down to the river. I may have already spooked a fish. I'm gonna make a couple casts at it. It was hard to see at first with the glare, but I kind of just stumbled right up to him. But it's like a solid brown. We'll see if the first cast luck continues. It's usually been my best cast of the day.
First cast luck did not continue.
Yeah, it was just a very short way up the pool, literally maybe 20 feet. See another fish. Pretty sure I haven't spooked this one. But the way that first fish went, I'm a little nervous.
There were some nice fish around, but like the river's reputation, tricky. But it was remarkable to see how quickly the river dropped after all that rain. Conditions were kind of perfect. If anything, these rivers were probably a bit low earlier in the summer, so the rain helped. I saw two huge browns sitting happily at the top of this pool.
Well, what a first fish. I found this one sitting right up top of the pool with a buddy. Somehow, the buddy is the bigger of the two fish, but this is a great start to the day. That's, man, what a brown. This is one of my last days on the river in New Zealand. At least it's a memorable one. I walked over a lot of empty water, spooked quite a few fish to start the day, but worth it for stuff like that. That's New Zealand. That's perfect.
In hindsight, that was one of the biggest fish I've ever caught.
This pool's incredibly deep, but I've seen one fish. He won't come near the top, but he'll come up from the bottom to about halfway up. The sun has still not hit this section of the river, and it's like noon. That might have been him.
As I'd worried, the river began to narrow.
My first very tricky spot. Let's see if I can climb up on these rocks and get around. Definitely getting gorgy. Spooked a fish.
These deep pools no doubt held fish, but they weren't really accessible. And it seemed like I wouldn't get much further up this canyon without some serious bushwhacking.
Well, that back there is the end of the line. No scrambling up those rocks on the side, and it's too deep to wade through, so I'm not walking through the bush. I've only seen a couple fish in this cliffy section, and they were really far down, One I spooked trying to get around the deep part of the river. It hasn't been ideal, so I'm gonna bail.
I wasn't upset. That one fish made the day worth it. Back at camp for the last time, I enjoyed a peaceful evening before my final day on a South Island river.
Well, bittersweet. It's looking like today might be my last day on the river in New Zealand. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. I'm on a river I fished last week before the rain. Anything will be good enough today. I've had such a nice trip that it'd be nice to put a bow on top. But any fish will be fine. Let's do it. That was a good fish. Oh man.
I couldn't shake a weird pressure on this day. I already caught so many amazing fish, but for whatever reason, I needed today to go well.
Take it, take it. Yeah! Yeah! That's the fish. It's fair to say that the water adds a few pounds. I thought I had a really excellent fish on my hands when I saw how long it was. I'll just have to settle for a long, skinny, solid fish. I mean, that's a pretty good fish right there. Powerful, big tail, big fins. He really chased the nymph down. He came back about 10 feet for it. I saw him come right up to it and then just follow, follow, follow. And eventually took it. I really thought that was a trophy, but I'm still happy with it. I know that they're in here, so that's why it's on my mind. Let's see if I can find one. Well, the exact same thing has happened today as last time I was on this river. I got to this pool, and then the weather started to get a little iffy over there. But today, I feel like I can go a little bit longer than last time. Just gonna feel it out. This is one where if it's my last fish of the trip, which it very well might be with that weather behind me, I'm super thrilled. It's very memorable and a really, really solid, healthy brown. Man, that's awesome. What a memory to leave New Zealand on, huh? That's phenomenal. So happy with that. I'm gonna keep trying a little bit longer, but I don't know. I'm pretty content. I can cross above here and fish the next pool, and then we'll evaluate where we're at. Now, I've caught 2 fish or less every single outing for the last 3 weeks. 3 fish. Now we're talking.
I'm not sure how clear this footage makes it, but that could have been the biggest fish I'd hooked in New Zealand.
Very disappointed. Very disappointed. That's all I have to say. Just taking a few minutes off after that. Trying not to be too upset. Eating some lunch. Deep breaths. That was a really nice fish. Third fish of the day always seems to break off. I got plenty of day left though. Alright. Let's do it. One more.
Nothing to do but continue on. It wouldn't take too long to find some retribution.
I think today has been pretty fitting. Had a couple really nice fish. Missed most of the take. A few snap off. Struggle with the weather at the end. Full circle. But there's always a chance. Camera, I'm moving. Have to admit, I had sort of given up hope of another fish. But here's number 3. Another just really solid brown. What a last day. Gotta say, really happy. One last look at this guy. I'll let him go. Just a stunner. Unbelievable. Well, a normal, rational person would say, you caught your third fish. Go home, have a couple beers. Still gonna do that. But I'm addicted to this. So, I'm gonna at least fish out the run.
Despite the on and off rain, the weather was holding. I knew myself too well. I was going to push it and find one last fish. One more epic fight off camera that only me and the fish know about.
This will be my last fish of the day. Most likely my last fish in New Zealand. And just a gorgeous brown trout. So buttery yellow. Man, what a fish. And the scenery's pretty good. Quality of fish, really good. Man. Couldn't ask for better. Likely last day. I'm gonna get this guy back and figure out how to get out of here. That's a bittersweet fish if there ever was one. Just an awesome, awesome fish. All the fish I caught today were great, but I really like that last one. But it's my last fish in New Zealand. I will daydream of these times for the rest of my life, I'm sure. It really doesn't get any better. If anyone's debating coming to New Zealand, spending all your money, do it. Money is fleeting, experiences are everything. What else is life other than doing stuff? And I did a lot. I need to leave now. See if I can find this road, otherwise I'm walking in the riverbed.
Even with a long time to reflect, I'm not sure I can put it much better. Money is fleeting, experiences are everything. What else is life other than doing stuff? I was mostly done doing stuff in New Zealand. All I really had left was a hike out, one final celebratory beer at a pub I was frequenting concerningly often, and a drive to Nelson. I flew to Auckland, passing Mount Taranaki, flooding back memories of the very start of this trip. Then I was gone. It's been a couple of years since I was in New Zealand, and it's hard to emphasize enough how important this time was. I was right in saying I'll daydream about those days for the rest of my life. The freedom to do whatever I wanted, the unknown country to explore, and endless time to think and reflect without social pressures around me. And I guess the world-class fly fishing kept me pretty busy. New Zealand was the first time I attempted to film a fishing trip. Clearly, I could work on cutting down. If you're still with me, we're at roughly hour 10. If you've made it this far, truly thank you for watching and supporting. It means a lot. I never would have thought this many people would come along on these adventures with me. This is all for New Zealand. I don't know when I'll be back. It's funny though, I left New Zealand with way more trip ideas than when I arrived. There was a lot I never got to do. The bush still calls to me. It was tough to come up with parting thoughts, but here they are. I'm not special. Anyone could do what I did. As you know by now, I can catch a fish, but I'm no expert. What's stopping you? Your world can change in an instant. Tomorrow is no guarantee. Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? I chose to live a southern summer.